Okay, welcome back. In this episode, we're going to try and pick up where we left off. We're going to start looking into Google Apps Script to see if we can mimic some of the searching we were doing in the Dataspark site. So if you recall, ultimately what we're trying to do is make it automate the ability to search things in Dataspark. So I gave the example that, hey, wouldn't it be nice if we fed it a whole bunch of UPCs that are provided by my supplier and get all kinds of robust information about which products are selling well, which best sellers, how are they doing? Are they raising their prices? Are they lowering their prices? Is Walmart selling most of them? All kinds of other things. So without going into too much detail, so for example, if we went to the advanced search, I gave the example yesterday of why don't we search on categories, and I'll do bedding. I've been using bedding as an example. Oops, wrong one. So we can see this category ID is 539103, and it's going to return all of the matching products for this. If you recall, when we did the first video, I was really struggling to find the product ID associated with this because I don't see that as one of the columns. And this may or may not be it. I'm not too sure. But there's other ways to get this. The point I wanted to drive home is this data right here, we fed it a category ID and it spit back all of this information, 30-day average, 190-day average price, 180-day average price, lots and lots of other columns. We can get the same thing from the API. So if we go over to, let me make sure, I have the documentation right here. So we have get products by category. So if we search, if we were to grab this thing, and I've already done this. So we're going to grab this URL. And if you recall, all we have to do is put our API key on the end. So that's what I did over here. So you can see this URL is dataspark.co, blah, blah, blah. There's our category ID. And I just put the API key on here. Again, reminder for friends at home, I'm changing this. You do not have to type that in. It's going to be long gone by the time anyone is looking at this. But I wanted to show a couple of interesting things. So here's all of the response from this. I usually, that's tough to read. I almost always like to bring it into something like Visual Studio Code, and we can see I paste it in, I make sure that the file type down here is JSON, and then Shift-Alt-F, and it reformats everything all nice. So the thing we want to see is for this particular category, I'm going to scroll all the way to the top. We have this JSON object that has the result and then the products listed all underneath it. So why don't we just do the same thing? Instead of trying to get this information through the search, I should be able to get it through the API. So let's come back here. And I think I'm going to grab this URL, because again, we're going to call this URL programmatically. And here's my blank spreadsheet. Again, ultimately what we want to do is have two columns, one with the UPCs, two with the product ID. And then we're going to build more calling more of these services. So it's going to call for the product ID, it's going to get 15, 20 columns worth of information. And then we're going to keep building on it and so on and so forth. So let me close a couple of things. Yeah, I think I can leave. I just wanted to show you the first time, like this is just a blank sheet. I haven't even done anything yet in here. So if you wanted to get the app script, you go to here and you click app script. And I hope this does what I think it's going to do. Nope, it's not. I lied. So I was in here. But normally this is blank and it just starts with one function. In fact, it's worth doing that. I'll just do it for kicks. So I'm going to create a new sheet. We'll call it temp because I'm going to get rid of this. But if I go to extensions and app script, it's going to put a function in here called my function, and that's how it starts. So I wanted to do something really simple. I think logger.log is there. And if I wanted to execute this, I save this. And now it's in there. So notice how this little selector, as we add more functions, so when I click run, it's going to execute this function. And we can see down here, it's going to rate something really simple. Oh, it's got to figure out permissions. So it goes through this process. I'm glad I did this. Oh, it worked. All right. I'm surprised it didn't ask me for more permissions. So what we're going to wind up doing is we're going to put our endpoint in here. We're going to make a variable var endpoint. Oops. Is that's what we're calling. Again, that's just from the screen here. So now we got to figure out how to call an API endpoint. And I'm not an expert in AppScript. So what you do when you're not an expert is you go search for stuff. So let's go. I'm going to search on AppScript web service call. Let's see what comes up. Here's Google stuff. I sometimes like to find. I've already looked at that one. I didn't like it. All right, let's go look at Google. So this is it. This is really simple. So let's just go down and see what else they might have. This one's posting information, it looks like, I think. Yeah, let's just grab this simple one up top. They use something called fetch app. And so we'll grab that and see what it does for us. And I hope I can find, oh, I'm all the way over here. So we have ours named endpoint. They call it URL. So let's just do that. They're just passing in a parameter here to mute exceptions. I've never seen that before, but yeah, I have no reason to change it. But let's see what happens when we run this. I'm just going to save it first. And now it wants me to do authorizations. I guess because I'm actually doing something, it wants me to review permissions. So I just have to pick my account, click advanced and say, yep, it's safe. I'm saying it's safe. Okay, so that's what it did. I got the same exact thing. I got the same exact thing as here. I passed the category ID, and without actually trying to look at this, hopefully you can take my word. So what we want to do now is we want to loop through this. So if I look at this, it's actually easier to look at it here. See all these products? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. There's probably, I don't know how many, 100. We want to loop through all these and grab the product ID and the UPC. And I don't know. Then we have something to work with. Some other nice things. I can see this buy box price. Oh, that's actually, so I guess that's what typically Walmart is. Yeah, I don't want to say that. I don't know enough about this data to know that, but I guess that's the competitive price of what it's selling for. And so I just want to see some other stuff that might be of interest. So let's come back to here. So what we want to do is loop through that thing. So this response, we've got to do a couple of things. I think in order to work with it, there's a certain way you have to work with JSON. Like this is an object, and I don't think this is an object yet. This is just a string. It's like got some gobbledygook, and that's all it knows. So we've got to put it into a JSON object. And I think the way we do that is var, let's do result equals JSON.parse response. So now I think if we try and write this out, it's not gonna tell us anything. Let's just try this. It's gonna say undefined, I think. Maybe I'm a liar. We'll find out in a second. No, it worked. I I don't know if this looks any different than it did before. Oh, that's because I logged the result. No, that's right. This is what we wanted. So the next thing I'm going to do is what I want to do is ultimately get the products. And the way we do that is I tell it, yep, from this output, I want to look inside the result, and inside the result, I want to grab all the products. So let's make an array called products. We'll keep it empty at first, and then I'll say products equals result. Was it result, I think? And then products. I think that's what it looked like. Result and then products. All right. And so if we come back here, let's log the count. So let's do products. GTH. Is that right? Let's save this, run it. So we should just see a number in here, hopefully. Product is not defined because it's products. It's kind of just type the S. All right, so there's 50 products. So now what we want to do is let's loop through them. Or 0 I less than products dot length plus. I'm going to try this logger log. Let's just write out. I'm going to try something. I don't know if this is going to work. So we'll do products. Products. We're going to tell it take the I, and then we're going to write the UPC. I'm going to put a comment in here. Do the same thing and get the ID. And I'm hoping I can do something really simple. UPC is not, that's because I need to put that in quotes. That's why. I think I did this. I think this is going up. Oh, it's not going to work. I was hoping I could just copy and paste all of these, but let's see what it does. Nope. I was hoping it would do that nicely. It's not. What I was trying to avoid was because I'm going to fumble through this next part. There is a way to write these out to the sheet and fill in column 1 is the UPC and column 2 is the ID. And I think what we do is we'll do var, I don't know what to call it, var rows. It's an empty array. And let's, oh, how are we going to do this? I hope I can fit. I've already figured this out, and like I'm going to screw it up if I try and explain it. But why not? I'll let me just try and work my way through it. So we'll do rows.push. Let's just start with UPC. Yeah, I don't like this. Well, I'm going to save us some drama because I don't know how to search by the UPCs. I haven't figured that out in the API. So let's just get some IDs in here and we'll work with IDs. So what we're going to do is fill an array with all of those IDs. I'll try and I'll research. Can't remember what I did to make this thing work nicely where it, oh, wait. No, that's not gonna work. Actually, I don't want that. Let me put that in here. So once this thing is all full, I want to write out the array. Let's see what it looks like. Just the next side. So there's all my values, and it's doing the exponential. So I've got to, let's try this. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but let's see what it does. Yeah, that looks better. All right, so now I got some IDs to work with, and now we've got to figure out how we're going to write them out to the sheet. So what do we do? App script, write array to sheet. Array of values to a spreadsheet. So you never grab the first one. Add array. Oh, he's doing it to a column. I don't think we want to do that. This isn't the one we want. Let's try this. Yeah, not really liking. This isn't. No, that's getting the values. I want to writing data to a named range. I don't like that one either. There's better ones. Here we go. No, that's not better. I don't like that. It's easier to write the values, set values. This is what we might want. I might just save us some heartache because I've already found what I want to do. And I can look at write array to sheet. So let me grab, don't want to do that. I didn't like this one. All right, let's just give this a shot, see if we can figure it out. And then a new function down here. We also need DS, that is the data sheet. So, and this is just basic app script stuff. No need to look at all this stuff. Where is DS? I think I've seen a lot of people put global variables for these, so we'll do call this products. That's the sheet name, and I'm going to name my sheet products. So this is just gives us a link to that thing. So I don't know why I'm passing it the sheet name. It doesn't look like it needs it. So we can just get that out of there. So let's try this. This isn't going to work. I really know it's not going to work. But I am going to cheat, and I'm going to look at how I filled my products array, because I've already done this. All right, that's what I did. So I put the 2 columns in there. Var products. So that's what it is. Var products. Okay. I'm just going to follow my convention I was using in the other one. Rows.push do there's a lowercase new array. And here's where I think I can do both of these. And do the UPC as well. In fact, I think I did. Get rid of that column. I did UPC in the first column. And then I can just do the right. So top left we'll do one, let's do row 2. The first column, the number of rows in the array is products.length. And the number of columns I know is 2. Let's see how this works. I don't think it's going to work, but let's give it a shot. What did I do? Rows? Yeah, that's because I'm too fast. So the whole thing is Google wants a 2-dimensional array to put that in there. And why didn't it run? So that's why it gets a little confusing. So line 27, where's 27? Temp array.length. So, oh, I forgot to pass it the array. Array. Set. So why isn't it temp array.length? I didn't want you to see me fight through that. So originally what I did in this thing is I like this was an array of arrays. So I'd loop through the arrays and then write each inner one out. And I don't need to do that because what I'm doing is I'm passing it an array with 50 arrays in it. So I don't need, there's nothing to loop through. And that's why let me just try one thing. This, I might be making a liar out of myself. Well, I got it to work, but I think if I do this, I'm just going to try this for giggles. Again, I'm confusing myself because I forget what I did in this other spreadsheet. I did like this one's just really simple and just, oh, it did work because it's just like I said, I'm passing it an array with one, it's got one entry, but that entry happens to be an array with 50 values. So let's take a peek at this thing and see if it wrote it. So there's our UPC and our IDs. So now we got something to work with. And when we get into the next episode, I'm going to start looping through this ID and we're going to call, let's go to here. We're going to go into products and get product information. So we're going to pass it the product ID and let's just have a little fun with it. I'm going to go, or yeah, I guess I could do that. This stuff, and we're going to just put the product ID right where that is. So just for fun, let's see what it looks like. Where was I? No, I was here. All right, let's see what happens. And there we go. It gives us back the product ID, the title, the brand. I think we can pass some extra parameters in here for it to show us more stuff. but we'll play around with that next time. But again, this is analogous to coming here. And again, I'm going to pretend like this is the product that we're looking at. And we got the price, we got a couple other basic information. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it. So I hope this was helpful. Let me just come back here and I'll do my best to explain what we did. We started out just doing a simple get to get the product information or the category, the products in a category. And I fumbled my way trying to figure out this URL fetch app thing. I think the biggest thing I messed up is I got this array filled nicely, but just dealing with this two-dimensional array, like I just get myself mixed up with how to work with that. And like the nice thing is in my other spreadsheet, I actually got a nice working pattern. And it's like once I figured it out, like I just kept repeating the pattern. In this case, it's just like I'd have a single an array with one entry, and that entry happens to be another array with 50 values. So it's like I just kept repeating that process, and then everything just worked. And that's why I fumbled a little bit through here. But I think that's it. I hope you stick around for the next episode.